Yeah, just get on it. And even if you get on it for 5 minutes a day, at least for me, the 5 became 10, the 10 became 30. And I don't always do it every day. I don't have a red dot on every day of my calendar. Some days I have to really fight myself to get on it because I still go back to that damn couch. But, I get on and as much as I can, and it'll change your life. It will change your life. Your stamina, just your muscles, the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you feel every day. So it definitely, one day at a time.
It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. You know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 210. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
This is Tom O'Keefe. I feel like you're just going to start saying it in Roman numerals just to mess with me. You've been with me too long because on Real Spoilers, I started this thing where every episode I get the name of the movie wrong.
On purpose?
On purpose.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, it's like A Very Quiet Place. Every movie I get wrong.
That sounds like something you would do.
Yeah.
Oh.
If it was up to me, I'd make them all porn parody titles. That's what I like to do.
Okay, I'm curious what it would be for A Quiet Place.
Oh, for A Quiet Place?
That seems like a difficult one to come up with.
A Quiet Face. I don't know. I always have my go-to, Beverly Hills Copulator on Golden Blonde.
Oh my
They're a little
God.
dated, but they're right stiff. It gets you there.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so that's,
All right.
So anyway, as you can tell, I'm always in a weird mood when it's the episode we record before we go on a trip.
Yeah.
And we're leaving for Disney tomorrow. When we figured we're going to get our money's worth out of these vaccinations.
Heck yeah.
So we got everybody all shot up,
Yep.
and we're with vaccine, just to be clear.
Very clear.
The kids aren't on
Yes.
heroin.
No.
That we know of. And so we're...
They're not.
They're not. So we can't get them to leave the house. How would they be getting heroin?
Right? But I just know somebody's going to be like...
That's not funny.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, but so anyway, so that we're going to Disney World tomorrow. So we're very excited. Going to do Disney and a couple days at Universal, and
I'm just glad to go somewhere as a family outside of this house.
Totally, we haven't gone anywhere together collectively in since summer of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So. This will be fun.
It will.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
So I'm sure I will say weirder things and more offensive things. So if you were offended by the heroin joke, just wait.
Or don't.
Or don't wait. Or just bail now.
Bail now.
There's that too. So what do you have in store for people? Did you forget to put together topics for
I put together a list. It's just okay. My eyes are a little tired.
Would you like to borrow my readers?
It's not that. It's that I go through this stuff really fast.
Right.
I'm a little. I've been working nonstop. So
okay.
So we're gonna talk about John Mills tried a tonal. So we got to talk to him
about his tonal usage.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. There was an article about a whole new list of hotels that's out there. We're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about Peloton giving back. We're going to talk about all the Peloton instructors being in the news, a whole bunch of them, and then there's just little tiny tidbits of things that we're going to talk about related to the instructors. And then we had a visit from Dr. Jenn, and we also had a visit from Angelo of MetPro.
Awesome. Well, before we get to all that, shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find a podcast. You can find us while you're there. Be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. And also, if you wanted to be so kind, you could leave us a review. It's a simple thing you can do that helps us out. And we have a new one.
Let's hear it.
This is from Cap'n Keeks.
Cap'n Keeks. Okay.
And it says a PR gold star for this podcast.
Ooh, a PR gold star.
I know. So the day my Peloton delivered, I had a friend direct me to the clip out on Instagram.
I love your friend.
Telling me that I'd love the page with all the information that is provided there. What she didn't tell me was how much I would enjoy the actual podcast. I love a good podcast, but she likes this one too. And or he, I don't know. Not only is this one full of hot takes and news and lots of Echelon hate, but Crystal and Tom are delightful, and I just feel like sitting down with friends to discuss our mutual love of all things Peloton.
Yes!
There are times when sitting in my office just laughing. Let's face it, this past year has been tough. It's nice to escape and feel like you're just hanging out with good friends. This has quickly become one of the podcasts I look forward to each week, and when time allows, I'm going back to past episodes from before I owned the bike, from news to tech interviews. I'm never disappointed, and the leaderboard name is The Silly Athlete.
Oh, she shares our episode every
Yeah.
week. She's the sweetest. Love her.
Well,
thank
thank you.
you. Thank you.
So you can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group. You can sign up for our newsletter, which will get you links and pictures and all sorts of stuff delivered right to your inbox every week, and a little reminder that the episode is out there by signing up for that at theclipout.com. And of course, if you want to watch an episode, and why wouldn't you, other than
Right.
my face, you can do that at youtube.com/theclipout. While you're there, subscribe there too. So
Maybe not today, though. I don't have any makeup on.
Me neither.
It's been a rough day.
So we're on a level playing field.
Okay.
So
John's going to show us both up.
he's going to be in full clown regalia. He's going to look like a member of ICP. So anyway, there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
Let's.
Run, lift, and live with John Mills.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is John Mills. Hey, John, how's it going?
What is going on? What's happening?
Hi, John.
She's already like this because I was making jokes before we started recording, so you will never know what she's laughing at.
It's already been cut out, so
Yeah.
snip, snip.
So I guess we'll just jump right in.
Let's do it.
Because you posted an interesting article this week about Equinox says that the CDC's new mask guidance sparked a surge in memberships with customers
That's what they
returning
say.
to the gym.
So they're going back. They're going back to the gym.
Well, that's what they're saying. Well, based on, I guess it was a week over week comparison.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
they're saying like they're up 55% from last week to this week, which I guess that could be anything, right? It could
Right.
be they were 2 people last week and now it's 3 people.
Yeah.
So there's
we don't really know.
55%. Yeah.
That's right. But they're suggesting, that might, it's a surge. It might mean something. I have questions though. I have questions.
Okay.
If it's more than like one person that made it, 55%, if it really is numbers,
Right.
then why are people going back? Is it because they just miss the gym so much?
Well, not
and now
everybody.
they feel right, like
Not
they feel
everybody
comfortable now.
Not everybody got a Peloton. Not everybody got
Not
the.
everybody has a Peloton.
Yeah, they may not have the ability, or maybe they had like an apartment and they don't have a very good gym in their apartment.
I think there are
or-
some
Right.
people that they enjoy the gym experience.
Yeah.
They enjoy the ritual of going and just getting out. And I think there's also people looking to just get out.
Right. Yeah.
Like I will say, as someone who puts concerts on sale for a living, concerts are coming out hot. Like
Really?
I mean, crazy hot. Like everything I put on sale right
It's like,
now
boom.
is like boom, guarantee covered in the first day, which is
Well,
yeah.
This is, what's interesting about this. So I'm working out in the gym earlier today, and I got those 2 TVs up now because I couldn't take the old one down, so now it's 2. But anyway, so one I have like a game, and the other one I have like on CNBC or something. Well, a story comes up, and they're like, AMC is like up some 100 and something percent today.
I saw
And so then
that.
I went, okay, well, what were they in January? So in January, they were $2 a share. Now they're $62 a share.
AMC has, I don't know if you know the backstory there, like there were people doing weird things on Reddit and basically saying, because like a bunch of big firms had had it on a short sale. And so then the people on Reddit were like, let's stick it to the man. Let's all go buy a bunch to make it not lose money so they lose their ass on a short sale. And it caused this huge rally. And then ever since then, it's been kind of like the geek chic stock to kind of mess with.
Yeah.
And so
I thought something happened and people went out to see a bunch of movies. And
well, I mean, movies
up
didn't
or
have a good
something.
weekend.
Like,
This is kind of like Quiet Place 2 came out and did like $47 million opening weekend, which for pandemic times is amazing.
Right.
I mean, it did more than Godzilla versus Kong.
And we went to go see it in the actual theater, which is the first time we've been to a movie in over a year, and it was nice. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody else is back at the theater yet. It's still real dead, and so we had like almost the entire place to ourselves, and it was nice. It was nice.
So people are getting back out,
They
right?
are. Yeah. I mean,
but relative to like Equinox, I was thinking, like, did they start going back because they felt like, well, everybody's vaccinated? Did they start going back because well, Equinox SoulCycle has like this rule, I guess. I don't know if they're managing it, which is if you had the vaccine, you can work out without the mask. And if you haven't had the vaccine, you got to keep your mask on while you're working out. I don't know if they're like.
But is it just like an honor system? Like the whole world's like a take a penny, leave a penny jar right now.
Yeah.
Except instead of a penny, it's COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it made me wonder, like, did they hear that and they thought, well, now we'll be able to tell and who we stay away from? Or is it just, I don't know.
I think what you're probably going to see is the people that never believed it was real and didn't get the vaccine, like don't care, and they're going to keep doing what they've always done. And the people that did care and believe it and got the vaccine are like, well, this is as safe as it's going to get. I'm going to go back out.
Yeah. I just think that's the new normal, right? It's like, well, I mean, I got the vaccine and I believe science, and science says that I'm going to be safe. So,
I'm going out.
I'm going out.
What else can you do?
I've done everything I can possibly do.
Yeah.
So now I just got to trust that it's going to work. I mean, yikes.
Yeah. So the movie stuff, this study by Equinox, I mean, if the numbers actually kind of sounds like people are moving back to outdoor.
I think they are.
It does. I don't think gym. I think gyms will obviously see a resurgence from where they were at, but I still think that like there's been a paradigm shift in how people exercise, and you will still see gyms. I don't think they'll ever go away, but I think that you will see fewer of them. Is my guess. So
I think so too.
Yeah.
Not going to have 8
But there's some
chains.
interesting stuff.
Yeah. So then, so you took a little field trip this week.
Yeah,
and
John.
it jeopardized your role on the show.
Yeah.
Because
let's talk about this.
here you are on an Echelon.
Look at this
product.
photographic proof. With John sitting next to the Echelon. What is happening here? Could you explain this to me?
So, someone told me I should have cropped the picture down to where you only saw the N in Echelon, so that folks would just assume it was Peloton.
Oh.
I mean, you would have really started
on a rower.
Yeah, you would have started.
I'd have started a whole bunch of mess. But so ultimately, me and Erica were out looking at step mills. Like she wants a step mill. So we went to one of those shops that just sell all kinds of like fitness equipment. And I just found it hilarious in there that they had an Echelon bike, an Echelon rower, and they had other stuff in there too. They had the mirror was in there. They had a bunch of stuff in there.
Wait,
so I just started snapping shots.
A real mirror or the Echelon knockoff?
I didn't even look for the Echelon knockoff. No, they had the actual mirror.
Okay, gotcha.
That would have been
the
good.
Echelon knockoff is just a big roll of tinfoil.
So I'm like a kid in the candy store. So she's talking to the guy going, when can we get, the step mill delivered and what's the delivery cost? And while she's doing that, I'm talking some selfies with the Echelon stuff, trying to plan a comedy post.
Okay.
The guy's looking at me like I'm nuts, but eventually she finished and I asked her to take the photo.
So is this a store that sells new equipment or is this a store that does like secondhand equipment?
They're a reseller.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like products from a bunch of different
What's a used
stores.
Echelon cost you? Is it like is it just straight on the barter system? You're like, here's 3 chickens and a bale of hay. Like, what's a used Echelon cost?
You broke John.
I don't know. I should have asked.
You really should
I got a bunch of stuff in the basement I would be willing to trade.
Yeah.
But I didn't ask that question.
It's like Price is Right.
Okay, but I got to know, like,
Let's make a deal.
What did you think of the Echelon? Because you didn't post anywhere. So John, what are your thoughts?
No one else asked me. I had a few people ask me the question, like they were like, "Oh, we want to know, like, how does this thing perform?"
Tell us.
Unfortunately, all I did was sit on it like this. I never did one row, so I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Now, why didn't you do the row?
You came
Come
that
on.
far. Why would you not commit?
I didn't extend my legs at all. No arm extension, nothing.
I don't believe.
I don't either.
This reeks of I didn't inhale.
It does. Sean, you did inhale.
I did not inhale.
You inhaled an Echelon, and we both know it.
I got no exercise fitness value out of that photo op. I don't.
I am skeptical, John. I am very skeptical. Because you also, we're going to change gears a little bit. You also took a trip to a different store. You went, well, maybe this was in the store. Heck, I don't know.
No, I had to go to a whole nother place.
You went to Nordstrom. I can tell by the back.
Yes.
And you checked out a tonal.
You checked out a tonal.
So here's what I think is going on with him checking out the tonal. This is my theory.
Okay.
Is I think he's a little intimidated by how swole I am.
Oh,
from all the tonaling I've been doing.
That's
and
right.
he's like, I got to keep up because
That's right.
Look at Tom over there.
That's right.
Like Lou Ferrigno. That's the most current weightlifting reference I can make.
Right.
You took it way back with Lou Ferrigno.
That's all I got. Like, luckily I didn't say like Charles Atlas. Like that's.
There's gonna be a good 60% of the audience is not gonna know who
that
we're talking
is.
about.
Yeah, that's the first Hulk.
Yeah. And I had to connect it to nerd culture too.
Yeah, of course, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Okay, but like for real, you checked this out for real. Like that is an actual biceps curl. So don't tell me you didn't curl.
And we should say, for all our talking about tonal, you had never actually utilized one.
Yeah.
I had talked to Kate a bunch over a year ago. I mean, and I was like, I'm going to go down and check one out. But the closest place was like in Jersey or something.
Okay.
I didn't feel like driving an hour and a half or so, just, and so I was, but I wanted to do it. I kept waiting. But I realized after doing the Echelon photo shoot, that I really do want to check out this fitness equipment. So what do I want to check out?
He had to get back in your good graces.
Yeah,
is what it was. He's like, if I show up with just an Echelon photo,
he's like, maybe I'm not going to be on the podcast anymore.
I gotta do something about this problem I've created. So Erica's been, she's been suggesting, I don't know if I want the tonal. I'm not sure. And I realized, we got a Nordstrom's. It's like 15 minutes away. They got to have the tonal in there.
Yeah.
So we went there having no clue whether it was in our Nordstrom or not. We just kind of walked in. We're just looking at, all right, people, we're here. Where is it at? I don't know.
It's not typically, I know wives are different, but it's not typically a tough sell when you're like, honey, let's run to Nordstrom.
Let's go check it out. Let's go to Nordstrom.
Let's just see.
She was like, she was quick to say okay.
Yeah.
So Right.
Okay.
And we found it. And as we found it, I didn't think she was going to even touch it. She asked me to, try it out. The sales associate let me try it out. And I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Which then got her to try it. And she thought she loved it too.
She loved it too. So did you feel like it was enough, like, weight? It was stable enough? Because like you're fit, like you can lift a lot of weight, and so
you're right behind Lou Ferrigno,
right?
Obviously.
It goes Lou Ferrigno, and then John Mills, and then Charles Atlas,
right? Okay,
But for real, you lift a lot of weight, and that's something people are concerned about with the tonal a lot. Is they're like, but can I really lift weight with it?
Yeah.
Or is it more just for like the begin? Is this more like a Tom level thing?
Right.
Or can somebody that actually can lift something more than a carton of eggs?
Well, you know what's what's funny about that? Because when I first heard about tonal, it was from you guys. I don't know when that was, a year or so ago?
Yeah.
Year and a half ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was my first reaction was that. It was like,
sure.
Well, wait a minute. Come on. I got like 400 pounds worth of weight
right.
that I do a million different things with. Like, how is that going to, that's your immediate reaction,
right.
which is a contradiction to what I tell most people. Like, I spent years and all I had was a pair of 20s and a pair of 30s, and I could come up with a million different ways to use those 20s and 30s. Right. It's a complete contradiction to that. So, but I didn't think it's just the first thing that comes to your mind. It's like,
well, 200 pounds isn't very much. That's the first thing you think. Yeah.
Right. You think that's not that much, but it actually was a contradiction to things that I've been saying for years. So I eventually kind of came away from that. I was like, yeah, you're right. That doesn't really make sense. But when I tried it, it was clear that, of course, that's way more than enough weight than I will ever need. Right.
I couldn't help but notice your bicep curl was on 41 pounds. How did that feel compared to what you do at home?
I didn't know what to expect. That was literally, she put it on some mode that just got increasingly got harder as I was doing it.
Yeah, eccentric mode probably, yeah.
Okay, and so then I was rolling with it. And someone else asked me that same question. That was like the 9th rep in that set. And so it was at 41 at that point. And the 10th one was heavier.
Yeah.
I remember the 9th one was heavy, but it was kind of around what I normally do. Okay. So I don't think it was 41. I think it probably felt more like 45 or 50 because that's where I'm normally at.
Well, you might have been in the mode where it goes up and down depending on where you are in the motion.
As you're releasing tension, it's kind of pulling, it's creating tension. So you're under tension the whole time.
Right. So you were like halfway up, not all the way up. So it might have been in the middle of changing the weight because it does that dynamically as you go through the movement.
Got it. The 10th one, I don't know what that was, but that one got me. I should have took a picture of that. We didn't catch that, and I don't know what it was.
I'm pretty sure it was like 80.
That 10th
it was
rep
like 80.
It was something crazy. I'm exaggerating. It was something nuts. I don't know, but it was heavy.
They were adding outside weight. They put the 3 chickens in the bale of hay from the Echelon on there,
and then something happened. Like the sales associate was pulling on the cable or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you like it since we talk about it so much, and we would feel like idiots if you were like, "Oh, that's a big piece of junk." Like
that thing was awesome, especially for me. I mean, I'm a younger guy, 51. But my body, I just was a dumb ass most of my life. I did if it was something dumb to be done, I did it. So I got hurt a lot. And so I just have really bad joint problems because of all that dumb stuff. So what I found was working with the tonal, it was much more comfortable to do the things that I would normally do with the free weight, which for me is, something I got to consider because, I'm a little different than most people. Weightlifting is kind of nostalgic for me. It's like it takes me back to my childhood and what I did with my father and, going to the gym in the 70s, and it's just a bunch of iron all over the place. So to me, it's kind of a solace place to have that experience. And so I wasn't really looking to change that because I get in there and that's my piece.
I've picked up on that a time or two when we've talked.
Yeah, but I can't deny that, it's like at work. As technology progresses, I have to work now. When I was younger, I was always the innovative guy. I was the guy going, you guys need to be doing this. This is what's coming. Now I'm 30 plus years into my career. It's those young people coming up telling me what to do. And I'm like, nah, I have to stop and go, wait a minute. Am I like stifling innovation? Right. You know what I mean? I'm doing that at work.
I totally
and this is kind of a similar thing.
You've become the man.
I'm that old, stuffy, relic dude that's going,
but we've always done it this way.
You don't need that.
What cloud?
But it probably is like when people are like, I don't want a Kindle, I want to hold an actual book.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
Or like I want to read a newspaper. Like I can get it from that.
I
vantage
totally
point.
understand that. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to try.
Yeah, so it's been fun.
I'm excited for you to try someday if you ever get back in there. There's a mode called Smart Flex, and I think you'll really dig it because it's really specifically helpful to joints. And what it does is it like dynamically changes that weight, but it does it like starts all the way. Whatever your easiest part of the movement is, the heaviest the weight goes. Whatever, and your midpoint is the midpoint of the weight. And then whenever you get to the part where it's the hardest, it goes down a couple pounds. So it really helps build your joints back up. And so I just think that with you talking about that, that might be something that you might really dig. So just throwing that out there.
It sounds like it, and I don't know the reason. That's just the thing. This is what's interesting to me. I don't know the science around why that was more comfortable for me than what I've historically done.
Oh, we got to get Dr. Liz.
I just know it was more comfortable. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And I was doing similar weight, and it was more. And so I gotta consider that. Like I got, I've got injuries that some of them are just funny how they happen, but they're just stupid, dumb stuff that is just I got. And so because of that, I got a lot of arthritis, and I got a lot of different weird things. So I gotta start thinking now. I can't be a dumbass forever. I mean, I guess I could.
Yeah, you could.
You could. Many do, but you're not a dumbass.
No,
you're not a
not
dumbass.
at all.
Not at all.
Well, I guess we should probably say
I gotta think
that while we're here, that
if anybody out there
wants one, like
you should go get one over at tonal.com and just throw in the clip out
as your promo code. And you'll get $100 off smart accessories.
Yep. So John, if you ever think about it, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, of course, if I do that, of course I'm gonna say I heard about it from this wonderful podcast. That the clip out or something like that. You should check it out.
The clip in. I like when people say that.
We get credit for that too. We're used to it. So. Well, I'm glad that you liked it. I'm glad to hear the report back about what you think about it. So I guess
it's awesome.
Until next time, though, where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook in my Run, Lift, and Live group or Run, Lift, and Live page. They can find me on Instagram, Run, Lift, and Live, or at runliftandlive.com.
Awesome.
Getting the Psychological Edge with Dr. Jenn.
Joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Dr. Jenn Mann, licensed marriage, family, and child therapist and sports psychology consultant. She was a 5-year national team member in rhythmic gymnastics and a Peloton aficionado. We need to really remind people of that. She's not just here. She's here because she loves
Peloton.
That's what brings her to
I love
our door.
psychology, sports psychology, and Peloton.
Yes.
Which is obsessed with all three.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have a question from the Clip Out community today. This one comes from Katrina Cassander. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She says, I know you can't outrun a bad diet, but if you're exercising hard regularly, she bikes every day, strength most days, should she see some results in weight loss? Size, not so much scale numbers, even if her diet isn't perfect. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I wrote my doctoral dissertation on eating disorders and weight loss and intuitive eating. So this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. And I'm also someone who, once upon a time had an eating disorder for a good decade and am recovered now going on many decades. So I get where she's coming from, and that a lot of the time what tends to motivate people to either start working out or to continue working out is seeing results, which I put in quotes because, look, ultimately we are exercising for longevity, for strength, so that we can have strong bones, so that we can be flexible, so that we can age well, all that sort of stuff. But obviously we all want to look good, and that's very understandable. I think, she started out by saying, I understand that you can't outrun a quote unquote bad diet. And I don't believe in good and bad when it comes to food, which is why I really follow an intuitive eating philosophy, which is about listening to your body, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're satisfied, and not depriving yourself, which creates binge eating. So all that aside, I think that the first thing that does is kind of give me a tip off. Hey, is there anything going on with your eating habits that you are concerned about, that you feel like may not be the healthiest, where you feel like there could be some room for improvement without really going into a deprivation state? Because to me, that is always the big concern when people talk about their diet. So secondly, I think it's always worth going and seeing your doctor, making sure that you get an endocrine workup, that your metabolism is doing okay, that your health is good, that all that sort of stuff is in line, so that you set yourself up for the kind of results that you're hoping for. And then the other thing is to really look at kind of evaluating, I have seen people who have not lost weight because they weren't sleeping enough, believe it or not. There are a lot of studies that have been coming out saying that not getting enough sleep can prevent you from losing weight, or who are making some dietary choices, doing a lot of unconscious eating. Studies show that when you are watching TV and eating, you eat 15 times more food.
I believe that.
And
sounds a little light, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Because we tend to go unconscious, and sometimes even just making a commitment for a week to not watch TV while having dinner can make a really big change, where you actually are tuning in and tasting your food and tuning into your body and stopping when you're satisfied instead of when you're really full can make a really big difference. I think it's also worth, if you see your doctor, you analyze these things, and you still are saying like, okay, why am I not seeing results? I think it's worth meeting with someone who has an expertise in this area, even just for one session with a dietitian or a nutritionist who can take a look. And sometimes we have things in our diet that we have these ideas of as being healthy that we may not realize that we're adding a lot of calories or fat or that kind of thing to our diet that may not be worth it. And again, I don't believe in deprivation. I think that deprivation is a setup for binge eating. But sometimes there's something that we think, oh, I'm eating this because I read some article that said that this is great to eat. I don't even love it that much, but I'm eating it because I think it will help me lose weight, when ultimately it's hurting you and preventing you from losing weight. So it's worth keeping a food diary and scheduling an appointment with someone who knows more about this, who has an expertise, and going over kind of what you are eating and seeing like what works and what doesn't.
I will also say, and keep in mind, I'm not licensed in anything except to drive. I can do that. But I noticed personally, like, I feel like there's a greater disconnect between how I look and what the scale says. Like in terms of like, since I've been doing Tonal and then added the MetPro like eating plan that they've provided me, like what I look like at 200 is what I look like. That's what I used to look like at 190. Mm-hmm. Like, even though I'm 10 pounds heavier than I was at 190, I look like a non-Tonal MetPro 190 at 200.
Yeah. I mean, because it makes a difference working out.
And I think in addition to kind of the muscle gain that you tend to have when you're working out regularly is also that, when we're looking at ourselves every day, we don't necessarily see the changes. Yeah. And I know in my eating disorder days, there were times where I would see a picture of myself and I'd be like, oh, I thought I was heavier than I am. Like even today, like when I post my Insta stories, I'm always like, wow, my abs are really good. Like, how did that happen? Like, that sometimes our brains, it takes a while for our brains to catch up with our bodies, because that is a slow process. It's like watching your hair grow. Like, you don't go, oh, wow, since yesterday it really grew. But sometimes you look at a picture of yourself, a few months later, you're like, oh, wow, my hair is so much longer. And I think a lot of the time it takes our psyche a while to catch up with the physical changes in our body.
First off,
I think that's true.
I'm a little offended by the hair growth analogy.
Sorry. I know it's a sensitive subject. I apologize.
Pick a metaphor that's more inclusive.
I would be more sensitive moving forward.
And speaking about the pictures, I always tell people, like, you should always let someone take the picture when you don't want to do. One, because when you look back, you'll be glad you had the picture. But two, one of two things is going to happen: you're either going to gain weight or you're going to lose weight. And if if you gain weight, you're going to look back at that old picture and be like, oh man, I looked a lot better than I thought. And if you lose weight, you're going to look back at that picture and be like, damn, I look really good now. So either way,
it's win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win. So don't be scared of it. That's all I'm saying.
As long as you can use it to not beat yourself up with, it's win-win.
Yes.
Yeah. But I would do that. I would beat myself up. Dang it, I hate this picture.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, where can people find you?
You can find me on social media, all of the social media at Dr. Jenn Man, 2 N's on Jen, 2 N's on Man. And on my Insta stories, I always post my Peloton workout every day. So you can check out what I'm doing on Peloton. And you can also find me in InStyle magazine. I have a weekly column called Hump Day with Dr. Jenn that usually comes out on Wednesdays, Hump Day. It's all about sex and relationships.
Awesome.
Peloton in the news.
So Forbes.com had an interesting article about where to find Pelotons as you travel now that we can travel again, or it's ramping back up.
Yes.
And I know that there's a finder on the Peloton website, but some people say it's a little clunky.
Yeah, and there's also a Facebook group that's called Peloton Hotels and On the Go, which we have chatted about before. And they kind of like have it's not really like a database, but it is a database because people just go in and they're like, I just went to whatever. I went to Nashville and I found a new Peloton, and then they list it. But there's this woman, Irene Levine. She has been keeping track of her own kind of database, and she travels quite a bit. So this has like become a big thing for her. And there's people like reaching out to her to be like, hey, is there one here? Is there one there? So I felt like it might be a good thing to share with the community, because all these different databases, it's great to know. There's so many of us that want to have a Peloton when we travel. This is fabulous.
Yeah, and she wrote the article, but she's interviewing someone named Leah Ingram. Who maintains a website and she writes about Peloton fairly frequently, not nonstop, but it pops up a couple times on our website. So that might be worth checking out if you travel and want to know where to find one.
Yes, definitely.
Peloton gives back.
Peloton announced this week that they're partnering up with the Bronx Commons in, I believe, the Bronx.
I think that's where that is,
that seems like a safe bet. When helping build this new development, which sounds, from what I can gather, sounds like it's about trying to create affordable housing in New York City, which is difficult to find in a city of that size. And they're kind of making this, it's this huge complex of affordable housing, but it will still have state-of-the-art things, so it's not like
you're using old stuff that's
you're over here in the junky part of town. You got it cheap, but you get cheap stuff. And so they're wanting to make sure that it's going to be nice for people. Yeah,
it looks like Peloton is giving $100 million? Yeah, $100 million investment, $100 million to invest in this, and they're going to have like promotion of health, and they're going to have Peloton equipment, and really help build this common area up from a health perspective. So that's really cool that they're doing that.
Absolutely.
The whole project sounds really neat, actually.
It does.
The Clip Out.
So joining us once again via the magic of ZoomTube is Angelo from MetPro. Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys, great to see you again.
Great to have you back. We have another great question from our Clip Out community. This one is from Andrea Van Pelt, and she says, macros, ... There is so much out here, and what do we really need to know? And how do we understand and apply it? Every time you look at one macro group tells you to ignore this and focus on the other, even those that look at a balance of macros, etc.
Okay, so Andrea, you'd want to basically just know everything that I know in a 2-minute Q&A. So,
yeah.
Glad I warmed up today.
It's going to be like a FedEx commercial from the 70s.
I'm going to be the speaker for the Micro Machines commercials.
It's the same guy, actually. It's the same.
Was it the same guy? Are you serious?
Yeah, for real. It's the same guy.
It's freaky that we are on the same wavelength. Yeah. Kind of scary, really. Kind of scary. Okay. So, I understand exactly what you're asking, because that is the principal reason why we created metabolic profiling baseline testing, because there are so many thoughts out there. No, you do low calorie and just balanced macronutrients. No, you do high protein. No, you do low carb. No, you do high fat and you go ketogenic. And then no, you eat no animal products and you just go vegetarian. Here's the problem. All of them are correct.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
They're all correct. I've been doing this gig too long. The only way you're wrong is if you say, no, one of those doesn't work, because it's just not true. I've been doing this long enough to where I've seen every one of those strategies produce phenomenal, toned, athletic, healthy physiques. So the question is, which should you do? Mm-hmm. That's really the question. It's not a matter of which is better, because that's the illustration. If you've heard me on this podcast or others, I always like going to the mechanic and then, asking the mechanic, which is the better tool, the screwdriver or the wrench? Because I hear good things about the wrench. My neighbor loves the wrench, it's a ridiculous question. It's whatever the job calls for. So you have a finite number of levers. Here they are. And you can, within each of these, there's optimization, but just broad strokes, grandfather categories. You can optimize your meal plan around calorie control. You can optimize your meal plan around carbohydrate control. You can adjust the volume, intensity, or frequency of your exercise. You can adjust the style or modality of training that you're doing. Just grandfather techniques, those are the categories.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to the person who is already attempting to, in this case, I'm presuming, lean out or lose some weight or whatever the case may be along those lines. And they're already exercising. They already have some level of optimal there. So we're going to just kind of put that on the shelf. And so do I manipulate calories or do I manipulate macronutrients? And the answer is whichever you have the most leverage for. So whatever your body is used to,
do the opposite.
That's basically it. And that's not an easy question. If you ask someone, where do you have the most leverage? Most people won't know.
Yeah.
But to put it into perspective, if you've been low carb dieting, cutting another 10 to 15 grams of carbs out of your diet is unlikely to produce more than a marginal bump in any direction. It's just not a big enough change. If you've already been restricting calories, cutting another 125 calories a day is probably not going to be enough to produce a significant change. So what we're looking for is, where do we have the leverage? People ask me all the time, they tell me, oh no, my body responds really well to cutting carbohydrates. Why are you making me put carbohydrates back, coach? And I explain, because your body responds really well to cutting carbohydrates. I want to cut them again. But until we put them back, there's nothing to cut. I mean, there's really not much to talk about. If I can't cut at least 100 grams in one shot, there's really just not even a conversation. So when somebody's down, I'm eating 75 grams of carbs. They're like, I think I can get down to 60, coach. I'm like, it's not worth the squeeze. Well, I'm eating 1,400 calories a day, but I could be all right on 1,300. Probably not. It's just not worth going there. So then you get, because I know there's going to be a couple people listening going, well, I already eat low calorie and I watch carbohydrates.
Right.
So that's where you, by process of elimination, and I need you guys to hear this, doing what you're doing, you can't lose weight right now. I need you to hear it. You can't lose weight right now in a healthy way because your metabolism is used to that. You have to first speed your metabolism back up. then tools that you've used in the past, whether it be the screwdriver or the wrench, will once again work. Not to throw Tom under the bus, but that's right where we're at right now.
Right.
He's done.
Yeah.
Right now I'm manipulating Tom's carbohydrates. He has done carb manipulation in the past, but now he's losing weight essentially. Yes, there's optimization, but essentially using the same tool. Why? Because we took a breather. We took actually 6-8 weeks, sped your metabolic rate to where now we can create contrast. So to really drive this point home, where contrast is the key element, I used to train physique sport competitors, the bodybuilder, the physique, the fitness, bikini, whatever. And every year I would get someone from the audience come up to me and, Mr. Pauly, your athletes look great. What do you have them eating? And I'd give the tongue-in-cheek answer, boiled chicken, broccoli, or whatever. And they would always say, and I'd wait for it, they'd always say, well, if I ate that, would I look like them? The answer is nope. He wouldn't. But here's why. I know I have one of those senses of humor. But here's why. It's not because of any ingredient or macronutrient that they are or aren't eating. It's because we just spent multiple months towing their metabolic rate, where I actually forced them to eat more. Like, oh my gosh, please. They're trying to tap out. I can't eat anymore. I'm
Man,
like,
at
nope,
the beginning,
you're eating
that
more.
was me. That first day I woke up, made my breakfast, and I texted you. I was like, this can't be right.
Right. Well, so that's it. So these competitors now, and Tom, have spent months eating more and more. So now when we cut their calories or cut their carbohydrates or manipulate their macros, all of a sudden there's this big old contrast. So the body is forced to adapt. And that's where you get, and that's why periodization and cycles, and why knowing your metabolic rate can truly, knowing your metabolic profile can truly help you lay out the breadcrumb trail for the right strategy for you, because it's not going to be the same strategy as your friend or your neighbor, or even, and here's the really frustrating one, even the diet that you did last year that worked isn't going to work exactly the same this time, because your metabolism is in a constant state of flux. It's always adapting to your body, which is why we really want to know where your metabolism is and then which strategy is going to be the most effective.
And it is effective. I lost 7 pounds in the last 30 days. I'll put it out there. Like, just it's funny because it's like it goes down so incrementally. Like, I hadn't even really thought about it until Crystal was like, pull up the app and actually look. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's way more than I thought.
Like, yeah, so shut up, Tom.
She says that a lot.
Well, I was mad that day because I had been stuck for like a week and a half at the same number. So.
Yep. That's where I go.
I mean, thank goodness we didn't end up in that place on the same day,
know.
because I think that the house would have exploded.
There would be trouble in the O'Keefe residence.
This segment would be canceled. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Before we go, remind everybody where they can find you and get the Clip Out exclusive offer.
metpro.co/TCO for the Clip Out.
And also don't forget that through the month of June, everyone who goes to that website, metpro.co/TCO, and either signs up for a consult or downloads the app, either one with your dealer's choice, you will be automatically entered to win 6 free months of MetPro. And if you did all that, because we know a lot of people have signed up previously before we started the contest, don't feel left out. You are also automatically entered. So swing on by metpro.co/TCO for your chance to win.
Awesome.
Instructors in the news.
So Selena Samuela had a big announcement.
She did. She got engaged.
Eventually.
Yeah. I love this video so much. She's out golfing with her now fiance. And so it's a windy day and she goes to make the shot and he like stands behind her and he like kneels down.
He gets out on one knee waiting for her to turn around, and then she really like cranks the ball and it's going forever and she's standing there waiting for it to land, and this guy's over here like, turn around.
And then she turns around and she's just like, You can just tell she's genuinely shocked. She
Yeah.
had no idea. It is the sweetest video. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, I absolutely loved it. And I loved it because it's not like a really showy proposal.
Right.
Like it's just a very intimate and sweet and thoughtful proposal because they both love golfing so much. It was very personal for them.
Yeah.
And then the other cool thing about this is the next day I took her run that she did. And Tom, you were in the room.
Yeah, I
when
heard
was
it going on. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny. She was just giddy telling the story
Yeah.
of getting proposed. I mean, if she said it once, she said it 5 times. I'm getting married, y'all.
She was very excited.
Oh, it was just adorable. I am so happy for her. So if you haven't had a chance yet, please send a congrats out to Selena and her new fiance.
And I also thought it was interesting that People Magazine picked it up.
I know.
And so like, that's the world they're in now.
That's where
People
we are
Magazine.
now.
Yeah.
I didn't post it in the show, but speaking of People Magazine, they did a whole feature on Robin's daughter's nursery.
Wow.
An entire
Spread. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Well, speaking of Robin, she has a book out.
A new children's book that
Yes.
she wrote, and it's called Strong Mama. And you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, IndieBound. And it's all about how to be a strong mom and be a good influence for your kids. And how great timing. I'm sure that was not an accident.
Yeah, that seems unlikely.
She is just such a savvy business
Absolutely.
lady. I love
Absolutely.
her. I am very impressed by her savviness when it comes to business. She is just a badass in a lot of ways. Very cool. It's out there to pre-order though. If you guys haven't had a chance to do it, you've got kids. This would make a great baby gift, like a baby shower gift, or somebody who just had a baby, toddler. Lots of gift ideas for that one.
Got a Peloton right on the cover.
Yeah.
A little cartoon Peloton.
And I'm sure she could get permission for it, unlike some other people who would try to.
Yes.
Like if just anybody was like,
Yes.
I want to put a Peloton
That
on the
would
cover.
be frowned upon.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess it doesn't actually say Peloton.
It does not.
Could be an Echelon.
Except it's Robin on it.
Right. And then also Pop Sugar talked to Chelsea Jackson Roberts. She had tips for how to keep your hair in place while you're doing yoga, which is not a concern of mine.
No, for any
For
reason.
multiple reasons, yeah.
But Chelsea has a lot of hair, and she does braids, and so she gave a list of her favorite braids and how to wear them in a way that would not get in your way while you're trying to work out.
Well, she ought to know.
She should, and she has so many creative ways to do it. So I thought that was just kind of a fun little different article.
Absolutely.
We haven't seen one of those from Pop Sugar yet. That was a new one.
And then Jess Sims has a new side gig.
Yeah, she does. If you guys didn't see this is another cool post that was out on Instagram. Jess Sims she's just started being the in-house in-arena co-host for the New York City Liberty team. So that's their basketball team.
It's the WNBA basketball team. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that she gets to do that. I mean, she is a huge fan of basketball. She's talked about it many times. And she used to play basketball all the time.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting to see her to be able to put her loves together. That's really cool. Congrats to Jess Sims.
In case you missed it.
The Peloton blog had a nice article about the best classes to take when you're tired.
And I love that this was put together by Peloton employees. Like, it's been a hard year.
They're like, we're tired. This is what we take. But it's great because sometimes when you go down to do you want to work out, but you're also tired and you're just like, and like, what do I do? And so here's a good bookmark this, and it'll be a good go-to for be like, oh, okay, I can still do something, but it's not going to necessarily kick my ass.
Yeah, and they're not like brand new articles or brand new classes,
Right.
I mean. So there's stuff from December of 19, March of 2020, January of 2020. So it's kind of like all over the place, and you get to hear it from a lot of different employees across the company, which I also love hearing about.
Then over on the Peloton Instagram account, they did their one question interview This is for Global Running Day, and
which is June 2nd. That is today.
Okay.
I'm saying we record on Wednesdays, so it is Global Running Day.
Gotcha. Oh, I missed my chance to run.
You did.
Oh,
no, don't
darn.
worry. You have till midnight.
Oh, I missed my chance to run. I stand by my statement.
And you're on vacation, babe. You've got plenty of time. Like, our vacation has started, so
But
you
then
could
it's not a vacation if I'm running.
Well, why not? It's Global Running Day. You were just all upset about missing it, remember?
But I'm sorry, but I wasn't serious.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So their question was, why do you run? And so they have all the different instructors talking about why they run.
Yeah, and I love that their questions, their answers rather varied from cookies to finding calm. So they are still human, just like us.
Yes. And then Adrian took to his Instagram stories to give everybody a new strength stack for the month of June.
Yep, he's in charge of the strength stack for June. And so he's got 4 work days, 3 rest days, and he's got a whole stack lined up for everybody for all the strength. So you've got a lot to do. Adrian is not playing around. So for those of you following along with these strength stacks, good luck.
Pride Month is upon us.
It's June.
And so Peloton had their announcement about it.
Yes, the Pride collection dropped last week, I think. I don't even know.
Don't ask me.
Surprisingly, guys, I didn't buy anything from it. I know that will shock some of you. But it's like I've bought the last couple of years, and I'm trying to not buy as much, which Tom will be happy about. We'll see how I end up feeling about it.
That's how we're forwarding our trip to Disney World. You stopped buying. You just tried to slow down your buying like a month ago, and then boom, we're going to Disney World.
Yeah. But it is a very pretty collection. I always love all the rainbows. They're just gorgeous. And one of the really cool things that they did is speak to Peloton members, employees, and instructors about what Pride means to them. And you can find that out on Instagram. You can go to the link in their bio, or you can go to the newsletter and get the link there. And you can get kind of a list of all different people hearing what Pride means to them. It's pretty cool.
And then while we're on the topic of Pride Month, Maddie had a special run for people. He debuted. Is this a new character? I don't feel like we've seen this one before.
It is.
Yeah.
What did he call it?
I thought he called it Captain Ameriqueer.
Yes, Captain Ameriqueer. That's it. And I absolutely loved it. And if you're watching our YouTube video right now, we are showing his video of his makeup getting put on for his run. I mean, they put in a lot.
They did.
Of work into this video. It is amazing, into his makeup.
Yeah.
And then he had a special outfit because he was a superhero. And not only is it an amazing looking run, but it has an amazing message. You know, Maddie spoke from the heart about what Pride Month means to him, and he got to kick off Pride Month. So I know that meant a lot to him. It was a very special run. So if you haven't gotten a chance to take it, please do. It was absolutely amazing. Pretty much everything Maddie does is amazing in my mind.
Peloton artist collaboration.
So this isn't technically, I guess, an artist collaboration, but they have a special
Broadway collection,
and they'll be focusing on rent.
Yeah, and there's like runs, and there's rides, and there's yoga, and there's meditation. This is going to be a fun one. This is a crowd favorite, Rent. So definitely make sure you get a chance to do this one.
Yeah, I saw Rent for the first time, like a year ago. It was the 20th anniversary, and I love plays and musicals and Broadway, and I got to tell you, don't get it.
You don't get this one.
I don't get it. Pay your rent, man. Pay your rent. Like, they weren't even like poor kids. They were like, half of them were like middle class kids, and they were just like, we're not paying our rent. I'm like, pay your rent.
I think this one has some nostalgia for people.
I mean, there were some good songs in it, but for the most part, I was just like, I don't get this. It did not. Maybe if I had seen it when I, like 20 years ago, maybe if I had seen it like in my late 20s instead of my late 40s. The age was
relevant.
But I was just like,
I enjoyed it.
Like, these are the whiningest bunch of bastards I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
I wanted to like it. I'd never had, and I was like, oh, I've never seen Rent. Yeah. I will absolutely go see this. And I was.
Well, I feel like I need to redeem your taste in Broadway plays, because we then saw the one that was like the really long one. What is the name of the really long one?
Oh,
that we saw?
We went and saw. They did a local production of Angels in America,
and that was amazing,
stunning. And that's like a 7-hour play, and you see it in 2 parts.
Yes,
because it's so long. But like, and it's not very common because it's so long and so difficult to do to see it perform live anymore. And so I was like, oh, we're absolutely going to this. And it was Meredith Baxter. She was Meredith Baxter Burney, and then she got divorced, and now she's Meredith Baxter.
Okay.
I couldn't remember which of the names she had for a second, but she was in it, and then like one of the guys from CSI was in it.
Yes.
And it was like
so good,
ridiculously good, like
especially for the Midwest. Like it had no business being that good.
To see something of that caliber in this town was like, holy smokes,
quite the treat.
Yeah, really good.
Peloton birthdays.
And then finally, coming up on June 8th, it is Cody Rigsby's birthday.
Well, everybody make sure and stop by and tell Cody happy birthday.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Candy Simeone. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, great. How you guys doing?
Good. Pumped that it's Friday.
Yes.
Yay!
We're actually recording on a Friday. We don't do that very often.
We don't.
So yeah.
We don't. Yeah. And Candy was super nice and flexible whenever my schedule blew up yesterday. So thank you.
Yes.
No problem. We're home doing nothing all day, so here we are.
Well, when in your time frame did you find Peloton and bring it home?
Within the last year, I think it was September that I ordered it, and it was completely on a whim. I know you know my sister, Deborah Angelo, Spoga Deb. She is very much into Peloton, and I am very much.
I hadn't noticed.
I was very much into laying on my couch, watching TV, kind of like you, Tom, right?
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
It's a great way to be.
Yeah, especially, during COVID and everything. But I decided to get off the couch and move, and just on a whim, after listening to my sister 24 hours a day talk about Peloton, decided I would just take the plunge, and laying on the couch with my phone, I ordered it.
So, one last act of defiance.
So
Yeah.
I kind of miss it with the back and forth. Who's your sister? Has she been on the show?
Yeah,
She's been on the show.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
Deborah Angelo.
we're not creating sibling rivalry. I was like, ooh.
No, it's always been a little competition, but she always wins because, like I said, I used to like tequila and a lot of chips and dip and pizza and snacks.
Yeah.
And,
Those
and,
are all wonderful
Pizza.
things.
and my couch. Yeah, I miss your pizza too. Yeah, me too. But so just watching her over the years, I would just sit there eating ice cream, looking at her like, you go, girl. So, but yeah, she finally got to me. So yeah, the Peloton came pretty quick. It was like right before the crazy ordering wave, and we were lucky enough to get it within a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was really great, and got it set up, and we just fell in love with it.
So was there like a final tipping point where you were like, enough of this? Like, was the couch bowed funny like one of those sad horses in old timey movies? Or
I needed a piece of plywood underneath.
Right.
No.
Not from the weight, because you always sat there. Let's be very clear.
No, about 14 months ago, I decided to get healthier. I'm pushing 60, so that's coming up in October. And I felt like, if I didn't do something soon, I may not see 60. So I was in a pretty unhealthy lifestyle. So since January of 2020, I've lost 102 pounds.
whoa,
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Louise.
gave up alcohol, gave up all the horrible food, and got on the Peloton and just rode and as much as possible.
Now, I heard that you
Clearly.
actually sold the couch. Is that true?
No, but I don't see it as often. We kind
You're
of
like,
broke,
I sleep standing
broke up.
up. I have to be burning calories 24 hours. That's a lot of weight in that period of time.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah. So it's been quite a journey, and I just spent the whole day cleaning out my closet, and I have all different sizes of clothes, and I'm purging. So that felt good.
I bet.
Yeah, I bet. We just to be clear, clothes. She's purging clothes.
Yes.
Clothes.
Yes.
When she's talking about losing 102 pounds, I want
Yeah,
to be clear.
yeah.
It's the clothes that are being purged. That has to be a frightening moment. That's like a commitment of like, I'm not going back when you start getting rid of the clothes.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
And I know that you had an unthinkable loss that occurred. Can you tell us a little bit about that and like how that affected you from an emotional standpoint? Because my understanding is that kind of led to your habits.
Yes. So it's going to be 11 years this May, back in 2010. I lost my son to a motorcycle accident. And this was after my sister, about her daughter, Tracy. She had been hit by a car in Italy, and she's a quadriplegic, and she's been like that since 2003. So in 2003, I had two sons, Jonathan and Michael, Jonathan being the oldest, and at 20 years old, got in a motorcycle accident on his way to work when a deer ran out in front of his motorcycle and hit him from the side. He lived 3 days at Mass General Hospital. And in the beginning of the 3 days, I had the people from New England Donor Services, which is Donate Life, organ donation, come into the room and tell me that he was an organ donor, which I knew, but never really gave it a lot of thought.
Right.
He was like 16 and a half when he got his license. And this accident that happened to his cousin, Tracy, really got him to be cognizant of, life is precious, right?
Yeah.
So when he went to get his license, he checked the box to become an organ donor. So they came into the room and he had a head injury. So just like Tracy. So it was history repeating itself in our family. So our family, I always feel like our family has been kind of the chosen family. My oldest sister lost her husband at 28 years old. And she had two baby boys. And he died of a heart attack at 28 years old. This is back in 1969, when they didn't really check people's cholesterol levels. And he lived hard, crazy, fun life, and he died at a very early age. So that's kind of when our family started being, I feel like, the chosen one. So then my sister Debbie, her daughter got hit in Italy. And then when that happened, my son Jonathan, it really affected him. So he became an organ donor. So the accident happened in May, and in June, we were going to go to Florida to visit Tracy. So Jonathan, his brother, Jonathan's girlfriend, and I were going to go to visit Tracy. And Jonathan had explained to his girlfriend all about Tracy and how she was, bedridden and couldn't speak and all of that. And, we were sitting at the kitchen table, and he explained to his girlfriend how, life is short. And we're all sitting around the table, and he said, if anything ever happened to me, like what happened to Tracy, don't you ever keep me alive on a machine. And so it was like a month before, or not even 2 or 3 weeks before his accident, that he basically told me what to do. Because he said, don't let me live like Tracy. So within a couple of weeks after that discussion was his accident.
Wow.
So getting back to the weight loss portion of it, from that moment on, I think I ate myself through 5 years, at least 5 years.
Sure, I get that. Yeah, I mean, I guess there are a lot worse things
you could
turn to
Yeah.
in a moment like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a little tequila too, but a couple of margaritas a day. But yeah,
I think you earned them.
yeah, definitely. But so since that time, I've gotten very involved with Donate Life, which is New England Donor Services, because he did donate his organs and he saved 2 adult, a male and a female, with his kidneys, and he saved a baby, an infant, with his heart valve.
Wow.
So I met the man and the woman who he saved with his kidneys, and met their families, and it was amazing. It's an amazing experience to be with them, and now we're like family. And we kind of came up with the mantra, make your mess your message. So in doing all these things for Donate Life, we've done amazing things, collecting money for Donate Life, for, being able to carry on his legacy. And I started a scholarship program, which also, we give scholarships to students that don't necessarily get great grades. He didn't get great grades. He was kind of like
I love that.
BC student, very good with his hands, mechanical. And so instead of giving it to the high, A+ students, I'm trying to give the scholarships to the kids that may not be, scholastically great, but they, going to be mechanics or stuff like that.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Everybody's throwing money at the A+ kids.
Exactly.
Let's help them out. I think David Letterman did something like that too. He set up a scholarship in Gary, Indiana, his hometown, for like C students.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we're doing, because John would be like, don't give it to the kids that already, have all A's. Give it to the kids that are struggling,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we like to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so many kids that like they can go, they'll go to college and they'll do okay, but not everybody that's going to college is going to get all A's. I mean, I didn't.
I didn't. Me either. So
Me either.
We still need help,
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And
Yeah.
I think that's a really special and unique way to honor him too.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, it's been very helpful, just to keep it. 11 years and we still are doing it. So.
Wow.
That's crazy. And what a fascinating flip side to the story, having done the other interview, that it's like that the ripple effects of that. Yeah. That like, and that to hear, a positive ripple effect in that, your tragedy prevented 3 other tragedies? Hopefully you can find some solace in that. It sounds like you can.
I do. I definitely do. Yeah. 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 And his brother, his brother, Michael, he got himself through, right when this happened, he was graduating high school, like within a week or 2 weeks. So he, got himself through graduation and then went to college, and now he's got a great job, thank God. And he's married and has his own house now. So his brother would be really proud of him, So through this whole craziness with the organ donation, we have these green bracelets that we, give out, Donate Life bracelets. And so I have a couple of things to show you. I don't know if you really want to see them, but
sure.
I have to show them to you. So this is us with Steven Tyler. So
Aerosmith is like my favorite band.
Ours too, mine too. Steven Tyler is my hero. So we ran into him in New Hampshire and gave him a green bracelet. He wore it for over a year.
Oh, wow.
Everywhere we saw it, we saw him on TV. He did Out on a Limb, which was like a documentary. Through the whole documentary, he had the green bracelet on.
No way.
Yes, we went like a year later, we saw him in concert. He had the green bracelet on. So it's crazy. So then we decided we're going to start bringing these green bracelets everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So we ended up at a coffee shop down in Rhode Island that Joey Kramer owns. So Joey Kramer is the drummer for Aerosmith.
Also in Aerosmith, yeah.
Oh gosh.
So we gave him the green bracelet. So he wore it.
A little peer pressure. You're like, well, Steven's
I
wearing it.
mean, yeah, and it works. It worked really well. These are a few more pictures of Steven with the bracelet. And on the top is my son, Jonathan.
Oh, that's
So he's-
lovely. I love the way you put that together.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So Steven was saying, be a hero, donate your organs.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he's the coolest guy on earth. So we met Ray Tabano. He was one of the original members of Aerosmith, and he's wearing
really?
it. He's wearing a green bracelet. That's me 100 pounds ago.
Oh my gosh, you
Oh,
look like
wow.
a different
You do.
person. You do.
And then the last but not least is Chicago. And they're wearing the green bracelets. I don't know if you can
That's
see that.
amazing.
But we
Look
got,
at you.
Yeah,
You're
so-
really like
Yeah.
you're doing so
how'd
much good.
How'd you get to the band Chicago?
So we went to see them, and they, while we were there, they, gave you like $100, and you could go behind the scenes and see the band. So it was worth $100 for me to get that
Totally.
bracelet,
To meet
that
Chicago.
bracelet on them. So
Yeah.
and they're awesome too. So now they have like this coffee table book that they have out now, and some of them are wearing the green bracelet in the book.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
It's like everywhere we look now, we see all these guys, different band members with the bracelet on. So that's kind of become my thing now. Every concert I go to, I'm trying to get that green bracelet on people, So yeah, so I'm gonna send some to you guys so you can wear some too. And if you can,
Wear it proudly.
We're no Aerosmith.
Not even
yeah,
close.
well,
More-
you're
more of
close.
like a winger.
You're close. You're close. I
White
gotta get
lion,
one.
maybe? Okay.
I gotta get one on my favorite Jess King. That's gonna be one of my things too.
That's a toughie. I
Yeah.
feel like that's harder.
That might be
we'll do
tough.
it. Send it to the studio.
Yeah. I'm hoping to send myself to the studio when
Yeah.
they open.
I mean, we got to be getting close with all these changes that are
Yeah.
occurring. So hopefully,
You would
I
think.
hope so.
yes, I would. Wow, that's amazing that you have been able to do that and spread the word. And so, like, if other people wanted to donate, what do they need to do? Do they go to a website? How can they help support the cause?
Yep, they can go to, what is the website for Donate Life now? Hold on a second, because they changed it. I think it's like, I'll think about it. Register. Okay, so www.registerme.org.
Okay.
And so is that like a funnel that'll take them to other, like whatever's good for their region?
Yep, they just they can sign up if you have a heart on your license, you've already signed up. You don't have to do that, but if you don't, you can sign up there, and it's like national registry.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So I feel like all of that had a lot of impact on your unhealthy behaviors, and I don't know why it wouldn't. And you said like this went on for a long time. Was it like a natural healing that occurred that you were like, okay, I'm at a place where I can move on, or was it truly just Deb talking about Peloton that made that click for you, that you were like, I'm ready to make this change in my life?
I think it was both. I had joined the gym and gone to the gym here and there, and then kind of gave up on it, and wanted to keep going, but just I wasn't ready. Like I didn't put makeup on my face for probably 5 years. I went to work and kind of was just existing,
Sure.
going through the motions. But it takes a long time. Everybody grieves in a different way. It takes everybody a different amount of time. It took me almost 7 years to clean out his bedroom, to change his, take his clothes out and all that. It takes a long time. And I went through Compassionate Friends, which is kind of like a grief group that you can join, and they have a lot of people that are going through the same thing. Met about 8 women who all lost their sons. One lost a daughter. and we became really close friends. So that helped me get through the grief as well, because I didn't feel alone. I felt like I was kind of, in the group that nobody wants to be a part of.
Sure.
But that was very healing. So I guess it all came to a head, and finally I decided, like, I need to lose this weight. I need to be here for my other son. I want him to have babies. I'm waiting for the grandchildren, and I want to be able to move around and get on the floor and play with grandchildren and be able to function. So
you're basically, this is prep work to become a grandma. That's what I'm
hearing. Yeah. And getting winded going up and down a flight of stairs, and I have fibromyalgia, and I'm always in pain. And since I lost the weight, I'm hardly ever in pain. Since I get on that bike.
Isn't that fascinating?
No pain. So,
was the pain subsiding? Was that gradual, or was it like one day somebody flipped a switch and it was just gone?
It was gradual. It was as I lost the weight and as I got my body moving.
Yeah.
So when I get on that bike, other than my rear end, nothing really hurts. And the bike, after a while, your butt doesn't hurt as bad. But it's been a miracle. It really has. So, and then also the mental part of being on the bike, riding with other people, riding with, like I already said, Jess King, Christine, all of them, they have such a positive influence. And I can be in the worst mood and feeling sorry for myself, depressed. As long as I can get myself on there, in 30 minutes, I get off and I am a different person. So it definitely affects everything.
Do you mentioned that you credited Peloton with saving your life. Is that what you mean, that they're able to change your mood, or is there more to it?
It's a combination of everything: the physical, the mental, all of it. Just for me, I'm always at the bottom of the leaderboard. I don't care, as long as I'm on the leaderboard and my heart's pumping. I look at my sister, and she's always at the top of the leaderboard. And I usually give her a couple of symbols, my hand.
See, they need more than just the high five.
Then I keep high five her, all right, with a
right in the face
with a punch. But she's a machine. There is no competition. She's a machine. But and she's very positive to me. She's like, I don't care where you're at on the leaderboard as long as you're on it, So, and she'll always tell me I'm doing so much better than I did last ride. So, she's good at getting me going too, and keeping me engaged. Because there's plenty of times when I'll say I just don't feel like riding.
Sure.
I'm tired, and she'll say, get your ass on that bike. And she's my oldest sister, so I have to say, yes, ma'am. So
if you're like me, you like to constantly remind your sister that she's the older one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I always do.
Yeah, he does. He teases his sister mercilessly.
Yes.
We have a brother that's a priest, and he rides a bike outside. He's crazy too. He rides like 15 or 20 miles a day, and he's 72 years old.
What?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
And my other sister is 75, I think, and she walks, and they kick my rear. So, all my brother keeps saying is, I'm never getting a Peloton because I don't want Debbie to know what I'm doing. He doesn't want anything to do with the competition part of it, So he'll come home from his outside bike ride and send us a picture of his odometer. And that's as far as he goes.
That's his leaderboard.
That's his leaderboard, and he's always number one. So.
Which is a pretty good feeling.
And it's probably just as well, because like if he's on the leaderboard kicking your butt, like you can't flip off a freak.
No.
Like you can't. Like
Well,
you
I
can't
can, but
It's still her brother.
I still can, yeah.
You're like, that's the one priest I can do it to. He's
Yeah.
grandfathered in as my brother. Grandbrothered in? I don't know.
Grandbrothered in, exactly. It wouldn't be the first time I flipped him off.
What I really want to see is him do it back. That'd be-
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he is a retired priest now, so he might get away with it.
Oh, so you can get,
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't dock him.
He's off the clock
Yeah.
now.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So do you have a preferred instructor? I'm thinking you do. I think we are.
Jess King. Yeah, Jess King. I'm in love with Jess King. I admit it.
What is it about her that you like?
Her personality. I just, she's just, she's great. I mean, I follow her on Instagram, so I follow her while she's chasing the ferry, and she's just a lot of fun. I like her personality, her attitude. Slap your own ass. I love that. She brings everybody down to the same level, and just gets you moving. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for anybody out there who doesn't know about Jess King's Instagram, I can't believe there's anybody that doesn't, but I know Tom doesn't know, so I'll say it for him. She does a series on Instagram like every day on her story. It's called Fairy Theory.
Okay.
And she puts stories to people who are rushing to get on the ferry. And
it's so fun.
Oh, okay.
Pretty humorous.
Gotcha.
We talked about it, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
we
it's
talked
coming.
about
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's so funny. It really is. And it brings me to New York, which is nice because, we can't go there really right now.
Right.
So it's nice to see that. I like to go to New York. So at some point, I hope to go back.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back to New York.
Yes.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Now, is the Jess King Collective your favorite tribe, or do you have like other tribes that you frequent that are your favorite?
I've been on the tour, and I did my first Pelafundo, which I don't know why they call it a Pelafundo because there's nothing fun about it.
It's a fondo.
I know. I know. But I almost died, but it was fun. I did 50 miles.
That's a lot.
That was a lot. I think I signed up for 30. And then, of course, my sister got me to continue and keep
She was
going.
like, keep going.
Yeah. So after 50, I took a hot shower and passed out. I was done. And I think she did like 250 or something like that. So
yeah, that sounds like
totally
insane.
like Deb. Yeah.
She's done so many tours at this point. I feel like she's done more than anybody else that I know of.
Yeah, she's the queen. That's definitely true. And now they have the tread too, so they're working on that too. So
wow.
Yeah.
So what's your leaderboard name?
It's Candy Girl 143.
Okay.
Why the 143?
So 143, my parents always wrote that on the bottom of all their cards to each other. So it means I love you.
I love you. Aww.
Yeah. So it's on everything. So that, I just kind of ended it with that. And Candy Girl,
Sure. That's
it's my name.
Yeah. Well, do you have advice for people who are just getting their bike, like they're just starting their journey?
Just get on it. And even if you get on it for 5 minutes a day, at least for me, the 5 became 10, the 10 became 30. And I don't always do it every day. I don't have a red dot on every day of my calendar. Some days I have to really fight myself to get on it because I still go back to that damn couch. But, I get on and as much as I can, and it'll change your life. It will change your life. Your stamina, just your muscles, the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you feel every day. So it definitely, one day at a time.
That's good advice.
That is good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, where can people find you on social media if you would like to be found? So on Facebook, I'm Candy Simeone. And on Instagram, I don't know what I am. I'm Candy. What am I?
I never look for myself. Candy Sim, CANDYSIM. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're looking for me on the leaderboard, I'm probably at the bottom. So high five me.
Definitely. And I'll see you down there.
As long as we're together, that's all
right.
that matters.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for being so flexible. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too. And become organ donors if you're not already.
I checked the box.
I did too. So we are.
I
Awesome.
checked it when I got my driver's license at 16. I was just like,
Yep.
well, I'm never in that. What am I going to do with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been very pragmatic about stuff like that. And I'm like, well, they're not going to do me any good at that point. So if they can do somebody else some good, have at
And
it.
just always think, who wouldn't want a piece of this? That's what I think.
Now that's a great line to
Yes.
go out on.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I guess that brings this episode to a close. What, pray tell, do you have in store for people next week?
Next week, we're going to talk to Nicole Gonzalez, and we had a huge push of people ask us to interview Nicole because she is the face behind Hardcore on the Floor. So we're going to hear all about Hardcore on the Floor.
Awesome. Well, until then, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, The Bike, and of course the tread at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me at Disney World. But you can also find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and of course, be sure and check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Clip Out. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep pedaling.
And running.
Clip in, set